The Bank of America has been caught secretly handing over customer data to the FBI, all as more and more conservatives are building parallel businesses and structures. In this video, we're going to take a look at the bombshell report that one of America's largest banks is practically functioning as an intelligence agency, how the expelling of conservatives from more and more businesses is actually helping to create a parallel society, and how that society is already being built all around the world, providing a blueprint of a truly conservative post-globalist world. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every day conservative hope in the midst of turbulent times, to help you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Also, for you Rumble fans out there, make sure to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on the link below. We're heading towards 100,000 subs there. And for you podcast fans, we're now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary. And so make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms as well. Before we begin, you know, we've all experienced blackouts, particularly at night. The very bizarre, strange feeling of not knowing what to do when the power grid goes out, right? And our homes go completely dark. I'm preparing for my next blackout with a wonderful device called the Lightbug. The Lightbug is a portable, solar-powered, ultra-bright floodlight with 3 lighting modes. And because it's solar-powered, you'll never, ever have to worry about wires or batteries. And it comes with a battery indicator, so you know how much charge is left. It's perfect to light up for your fishing, hiking, or camping trips because it's so lightweight and portable. And if you click on that link below today, guess what? You're going to save 20% off your order. So make sure to click on that link below or head on over to their website, lightbug.com, and get your emergency backup light today. All right, again, let's dive right in here. Tucker Carlson dropped a bomb on his show the other night. Carlson explained that he obtained information on how the Bank of America Corporation was turning over private customer data to federal authorities on people who had not even been accused of any crime. Here's what Tucker reported, quote, "The Bank of America, which has more than 60 million customers, is actively but secretly engaged in the hunt for extremists in cooperation with the government. Bank of America is, without the knowledge or the consent of its customers, sharing private information with federal law enforcement agencies. Bank of America effectively is acting as an intelligence agency, but they're not telling you about it." In the days after the January 6th riot at the Capitol, Bank of America went through its own customers' financial and transaction records. These were the private records of Americans who had committed no crime. People who, as far as we know, had absolutely nothing to do with what happened at the Capitol on January 6th. But at the request of federal investigators, Bank of America searched its databases looking for people who fit a specific profile. So, when all said and done, Tucker's arguing here that Bank of America is basically acting like an intelligence agency, as if the bank's customers were suspected of being members of Al-Qaeda. In a follow-up statement to Carlson, Bank of America did not deny its effort at assisting law enforcement and claimed that they had a responsibility to do so. That, according to Tucker, is actually not true. And the lawyers that he consulted with actually claimed that what Bank of America did may be illegal and could be challenged in court. Now, this isn't the first time banks have been targeting MAGA supporters, as I'm sure you're well aware. President Trump himself has been what many are calling debanked. Deutsche Bank and a number of other financial institutions like Signature Bank announced that they have cut ties with Donald Trump, citing the assault on the U.S. Capitol building as their reason for excommunicating Trump from their services. So we can now see how financial institutions are increasingly being weaponized by the radical left to disenfranchise President Trump and his supporters. So what are we supposed to be doing about this? Well, in pondering that question, I came across another cancel culture controversy I found very, very interesting. It's happening right now. You may have heard about the controversy surrounding beauty influencer YouTuber Amanda Ensing. Amanda is an overt Christian. She's a big-time Trump supporter, very conservative girl. I think she's in her, mid to late 20s, so part of the, Gen Z conservative wave. For example, she recently tweeted out, "The left, I hate it here. America's embarrassing. Only we can riot and loot. Defund the police. Just do what the government tells you to do and don't ask questions. The right, let's fight for freedom. We love the USA. Defend the Constitution. We support our military and law enforcement." All right. She's pretty good, right? Well, of course, the woke mob, the woke warriors of tolerance, didn't like that very much. And they decided to practice their self-proclaimed value of tolerance and inclusivity by demanding that Amanda's major sponsor, Sephora, which is really a very big French beauty care products retailer, drop her. And to pressure Sephora, they made sure that hashtag boycott Sephora started trending on the Twitterverse. And so, predictably, Sephora announced that they were cutting ties with Amanda. And they defended the decision. Get this. They defended their decision to cut ties with Amanda because she, quote, shared content on social media that is not aligned with Sephora's values. Wait for it. Did not align with Sephora's values around inclusivity. As soon as we were informed, we made the decision to exclude Amanda, cease all programming with Amanda, and will not be engaging her for future partnerships. We decided to exclude an influencer because she didn't align with our values of inclusivity. What a crock of incoherent shit. No, Sephora dropped her because they're a bunch of gutless, cowardly leftists who bend the knee to the woke mob. That's why they dropped her. What a bunch of crap. They're a bunch of gutless leftist cowards. But here's what's really important. Rather than cry, "woe is me," Amanda decided to launch her own makeup line. And she called it, you guessed it, Make Makeup Great Again. According to BizPack Review, she announced the new line on Instagram in a video entitled "Conservatives Aren't Going Anywhere." And her fans, as it turns out, her fans are themselves boycotting Sephora by the hundreds of thousands. In fact, they just picked up the hashtag boycott Sephora right where the leftist woke crowd dropped it. As it turns out, these feckless leftists at Sephora didn't seem to realize that we are in an era dominated by what scholars call consumer politics. Our economy is going through a kind of reconfiguration where our economic choices are being fueled more and more by what we're calling consumer politics. That's where more and more people are intentionally buying from companies that promote and support and defend and champion our political commitments while refusing to purchase from those companies that actively oppose and despise and ridicule our values and our politics. And so consumer politics generally involves what we call boycotts and boycotts, right? So boycotts are obviously the intentional refusal to purchase from companies that offend and spit on our political values, like what Trump called for against Goodyear tires. Remember that, when they banned pro-Trump attire from the dress code while allowing BLM paraphernalia? They backed down on that one. So that's boycotts. And then you've got boycotts, which are intentional purchases from companies that support our political values. Again, like what Trump called for with Goya products several months back. And this is contributing to the increasing partisan nature of the marketplace, where companies are more and more being divided up between liberal corporations or fully leftist globalists like Sephora, and conservative companies that remain devoted to nation, culture, custom, and tradition, like Amanda's new cosmetics line, her Makeup Great Again line. And that is where these banks turning over the private information of their customers to federal authorities, as well as all the debanking, that President Trump has been subjected to, that is where this banking fiasco comes together with what Amanda is doing. And that, of course, involves building and creating our own parallel products and institutions. As leftist corporations start excommunicating more and more of us from their products, or start putting us under a kind of surveillance, we're going to need more and more to create our own parallel structures, our own banks, our own product lines that promote and defend our conservative values rather than disparage and despise them. Now, before we get into that, I'm very excited to announce we do have a brand new alt-tech directory guide called The New Conservative Survival Guide to Big Tech Censorship. You can get it absolutely free as an ebook download simply by clicking on the link below. It is a guide that's going to give you all of the alternative social media sites that you can go to. So it's a directory. It's got all of your favorite independent content creators on all these different sites, but of course without any censorship that we're being exposed to by big tech. So It's going to give you insights as well into what scholars are calling an emerging post-Google age. It's absolutely free as an ebook download, and it's yours simply by clicking on the link below. So do not let big tech censors get in the way of your favorite content creators. Click on that link below and enjoy your survival guide to big tech censorship today. All right, so if you're not familiar with this notion of creating parallel structures is not a new concept. It's actually rooted in a body of writings composed in the 1970s and 1980s by the Czechoslovakian dissidents Václav Havel, who would later become president of the Czech Republic, and Václav Benda. Now, these writings are advocating the building of what they called a parallel public, or what Benda called a parallel polis, the polis being the term for, the Greek city-state, like cosmopolis, right? Benda actually drew inspiration from the New Testament idea of the church as a New Jerusalem, a sacred city that lives out truth in the midst of a world built on lies, a fallen world order. And so the idea of the parallel polis is that when the dominant institutions of a society have become so corrupt as they were in the Soviet-dominated Czechoslovakia at their time, the only way to maintain the flourishing of a genuine humanity is through the building of institutions that allowed people to live out truth. It's a really neat concept. The way to oppose a society that denied truth was to foster pockets of civil societies, shared life worlds of responsible individuals who could govern their own conduct in an authentically moral way and thus live in truth. And so these Czechoslovakian dissidents looked toward the church. They built educational institutions. They got into publishing industries. They created community spaces, all as facilitators of social networking that revealed the true nature of human flourishing. And thus, in turn, it revealed the dominant Soviet institutions that denied truth to be what they were: a lie, a big, fat leftist lie. That, I would argue, is precisely what Amanda is doing, and that's precisely what we all need to be doing. The irony here is that it's never been easier. There are tons of articles out there listing out institutions like banks that actually agree with our values. Banks like the Evangelical Christian Credit Union and local banks all over the nation. They're fully conservative, fully supportive of our conservative values and beliefs. And there's just no reason on the planet for us to feel that we're somehow locked into having to use corporate industries and companies that hate and despise and ridicule our conservative values. It is time that we not only deliberately patronize the conservative businesses and industries that are already out there, but start building up a post-globalist parallel society of our own. The good news is that just such a parallel world is already well underway. Scholars are calling the builders of this world frontier innovators. The frontier is simply the innovation centers and entrepreneurial activity located outside of Silicon Valley and its counterparts like LA and New York and London. So this is an alternative economy that's rising up that includes companies in Kenya as well as Kansas, or Uganda as well as Utah, or Indiana as well as India. Frontier innovators are providing for us a blueprint of what a post-globalist conservative ecosystem could become. Now, we're going to spend some time exploring this post-globalist world of frontier innovation in a number of our future videos, and feature a number of companies and products and services that support and defend our conservative values, and in turn give us the encouragement and the confidence that, yes, a new conservative world really is dawning. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video just uploaded. You're going to love this one. It's on how Greta Thunberg is facing a criminal conspiracy probe as the nation of India strikes back against big tech. You are not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.